This video is sponsored by Big Boy Gaming. Follow the link in the description below for all of your card gaming needs. What's going on, guys, and welcome back to the Edison Club. Today, I'm bringing you a first place, a second place, and a third place finishing deck profile. All three of them are very unique. They're from different local tournaments spread all the way across the US and into other areas as well. So we're going to go over all three of these lists today, kind of give the players some shout outs and kind of congratulate them on their victories. So before we get started, as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. It really just motivates me to keep going, getting better at the game as well as content creation. So when you guys are hitting the button, ringing the bell, just says to me, hey, we're enjoying this. Also, if you look directly above, we're at 2254 out of our goal of 3,000 subscribers. So we are definitely on the way there. Thank you guys so much for subscribing. And if you're watching this and you're not subscribing, click the button. It's so easy. Then you get to hit the button, ring the bell, and you get notified about all my new content. So without further ado, let's jump into these deck profiles. First off, we have Ryan Jacobs. I apologize if I'm not pronouncing your last name correctly. I've actually known Ryan for quite some time. We were both big enthusiasts of the Dark Magician deck. We kind of bounced some ideas back and forth of each other over the course of the past few years. And he's recently been playing Edison format, so it's pretty cool to see him transition to Edison. So Ryan took first place with Machina Gadgets. So let's go over Ryan's list here. We have 2 green, 2 red, and 2 yellow. We have 3 Gear Frame, 1 Peacekeeper, 2 Cyber Dragons, 1 Force, 2 Fortress, and 1 Scrap Recycler. Rounds off the monster card count. And we have 2 copies of Creature Swap, 2 copies of Fissure, 1 Heavy, 1 MST, 1 Avarice, and triple Smashing Ground. So lots of spot removal here. This is very classic Machina Gadgets. I always like to see when people play this. Also, Solidarity, because your gadget monsters can very quickly become a problem. They're pretty weak by themselves, but even your lowest normal summon of Yellow Gadget backed by Solidarity becomes a 2,000 beater. So big fan of Solidarity in this deck for sure. Then we have 1 Solemn Judgment, 2 Bottomless Trap Hole, 2 Compulse. It's also nice. I'm a big fan of the flexibility of Compulse that it has within decks. You can do stuff like, obviously, Compulse away your opponent's cards. There are synchros and stuff like that, but you can also like Compulse back your own Gear Frames to save them from like Bottomless and Deep Prison and stuff towards summoning them again. So it's always nice when you can do that. 2 copies of Deep Prison, 1 Dust Tornado, 1 Mirror Force, 1 Oppression, and 1 Torrential rounds off the 40-card main deck. Going into the side deck, we have 1 Kinetic Soldier. I wonder if this guy is actually searchable in this deck somehow. Actually, I'm not that well-rounded when it comes to this deck. This guy might be searchable somehow. I think you can dump him off of Scrap Recycler. 2 Lightning Vortex, 2 Nobleman of Crossout, 1 Dust Tornado, 2 Imperial Iron Wall. So happy to see this card taking off and people playing this card. Card went under the radar for so long, and it's really nice to see people taking full advantage of Iron Wall. We have 2 Light Imprisoning Mirror, the most hated card in Edison format, 2 copies of Pulling the Rug, the 2nd Oppression, 1 Road, and 1 Dust Shoot. We go over the extra deck here, and then I feel like it's probably not really important. We have 2 Fortress Dragon, 1 Catastrophe, 1 Arcanite, 1 Black Rose, 1 Armor Master, 1 Brio, 1 Colossal, 1 Flamvel, 1 Goyo, 1 Power Tool, 1 RDA, 2 Stardust, and 1 Thought Ruler. Once again, congratulations, Ryan, on your first place finishing Machina Gadgets deck. Next, we're going to go on to second place, which is my friend Cody Hug, who got second place at a local PS5 tournament playing Hero Frogs with a spin. There are a lot of trap cards in this Hero Frog list. So let's get started and go over this list. We have triple Caius, double Dupe Frog, 1 Neos Alias, 1 Ocean, 1 Stratos, 1 Infernal Prodigy, 1 Malicious Edge, 1 Gores, 1 Junk Synchron, 1 Ryza, triple Substitute, triple Swap Frog, 2 copies of Treeborn Frog, and 1 copy of Uni Frog. We have 1 Brain Control, 1 E-Emergency Call, 1 Econ, 1 Heavy, 3 copies of Miracle Fusion, 1 MST, 1 for 1, 1 Rhoda, 1 Soul Exchange, rounds off the spell card count. Then we have 1 Mirror Force, 1 Phoenix Wing Wind Blast, 2 copies of Regeki Break, 2 copies of Threatening Roar, 1 copy of Torrential Tribute, and 1 copy of Trap Dust Shoot. Going into the side deck, we have 1 Blackwing, Sirocco the Dawn, 1 Breaker, the Magical Warrior, 2 copies of DD Crow, 2 copies of Vanity's Fiend, 1 Smashing Ground, 1 Super Poly, 2 copies of Compulse. We're seeing Compulse really starting to pick up in popularity. 2 copies of Deep Prison, 2 copies of Dust Tornado, and 1 copy of Mind Crush. Rounds off the side deck. Going into the extra deck, We have 3 copies of Absolute Zero, 1 copy of Gaia, 1 Cataster, 1 Army Arm, 1 Black Rose, 1 Brianak, 1 Colossal, 1 Flamvel, 1 Goyo, 1 Junk Warrior, 1 Android, 1 Stardust, and 1 Thought Ruler Archfiend. So, congratulations to my friend Cody Hug on his 2nd place finish with this very unique Hero Frog list. Last one I have for you guys today is, is a man named Riley Ochoa, who managed to take 3rd place at his locals with this really spicy Pure Lightsworn list. And this one, I was really glad that he reached out to me and sent this to me. And really excited to show this one off to you guys. So we have 1 Arcus, 2 Celestia, 1 Aaron, 1 Garoth. We have 1 Graganith, 2 copies of Honest, 1 Jane, 2 copies of JD, 1 Lumina, 2 Lila, 1 Necrogardna, 1 Plague Spreader, triple copies of Raikou, and 2 copies of Shield Warrior. I briefly played Shield Warrior in a couple of my War League games last year, and I actually was a big fan of this card. I just never really play Pure Lightsworn anymore. But this guy is a level 3 Earth Warrior monster, 800 attack, 1600 defense, so he's actually kind of beefy. And he says, during damage calculation, during either player's turn, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Monsters you control cannot be destroyed by this battle. So he's kind of like an extra little Necrogardna here. You can like let your Raikou flip, pop a card, and then still protect it towards like a Celestia tribute, which is kind of nice. So 2 Shield Warriors and triple Wolf. I haven't milled Wolf in a long time myself because I've been on Christia Sworn. Spells, we have 1 Brain Control, 1 Charge, 1 Foolish, 2 copies of Gold Sark, 1 Heavy, 2 copies of Monster Reincarnation, 1 MST, 1 Rhoda, triple copies of Solar Recharge, 2 Glorious Illusion, 1 Mirror Force, and 1 Needlebug Nest. Not a card you see included in Lightsworn and Edison very often, but this guy does have a lot of cards he can mill. He's got the triple Wolf, the Plague Spreader, the Shield Warriors, Necrogardna. So lots of cards you can mill to take advantage of this nice one of Needlebug Nest. Side deck, we have 1 Breaker, 2 copies of Consecrated, 2 copies of Cyber Dragon, 1 copy of Exiled Forces, which is a very interesting inclusion. I assume it's like to pair with the Rhoda. You can kind of just like 1-for-1 over stuff like AZ and Vanity's Fiend. So kind of cool there. We have 2 copies of Fossil Dyna, 1 Vortex, 1 Twister, 1 Bottomless, 2 Royal Decree, 1 Road, and 1 Torrential. Extra deck, we have 1 Fortress, 1 Cataster, 1 Ancient Fairy, 1 Armory Arm, 1 1 Black Rose Dragon, sorry guys, 1 Brio, 1 Colossal, 1 Darkin, 1 Flamvel, 1 Goyo, 1 Android, 1 Mistworm, 1 Stardust, 1 Tempest Magician, and 1 Thought Ruler Archfiend. So going back over these one more time, congratulations on getting 1st place, Ryan, with your Machina Gadget list. Congratulations to Cody for getting 2nd with his Hero Frog list. And congratulations to Riley for getting 3rd place with this unique take on Pure Lightsworn. Okay, guys, well, that's all I have for you today. I'll be back later in the week with more content and a weekly podcast upload. So thank you guys for watching. This is Mike from the Edison Club signing out until the next one.